everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So, on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some Commander cards that always overperform and that definitely should be getting more love. Let's jump into them. So, first up, one of my favorite cards of all time, and a very strange card, Chronomantic Escape. Yeah, there really is nothing else quite like this card. Currently sees play in just 6,000 decks or so, 0% of eligible decks according to EDH Rec. It's a sorcery that costs 6 mana in total, but you may never pay that because you can actually suspend 3 for 2 and a white, and it says, until your next turn, creatures can attack you. Remove it from the game with 3 time counters on it. Basically, again, exile 3 time counters on it. So essentially what happens with this one is you, just basically keep casting this for free every 3 turns. And essentially, every 3 turns, your opponents cannot attack you. Now, the very first time can definitely be one where if you do hard cast it, your opponents, might have been attacking you, and you can kind of save yourself right then and there, hopefully delaying things enough for you to be able to stabilize. But at the very least, this is something that just, by the way, early on, just suspend for 2 and a white and go, every 3 turns I just can't get attacked. You won't believe how many times this has saved me, and also how many times this forces opponents to think differently with the decisions that they're going to make on their turn. Like, I was going to attack Mitch, but I can't. But I've got like this massive army, and I'm not just going to sit around. So instead, I'll go with option B and attack other players. So not just protecting yourself, but also being detrimental to other opponents as well. So yeah, this is an unexpected hero for you that can just overperform basically every single time. So when it comes to the types of commanders that want to consider with this one, just obviously like Kellen the Kid is one. Flying Lifelink, 3/3, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you may put a land from your hand on the battlefield. This, Vega the Watcher, things that care about you casting things from, not your hand essentially. Yeah, this one obviously, it's like, even more so taking advantage of it because Chronomantic Escape is a 6 mana card. You might have only paid 3 to suspend it, and you're starting to get extra value by being able to play things for free out of your hand with it. Or how about, Feldergriff. That's actually where I have it mostly. I love it in my Feldergriff deck. The very first place I played it, and I fell in love with it. Feldergriff is a commander that does a lot of weird things. It can get flying by paying a white, and you give an opponent 2 life. You can pay a blue to bounce it back to your hand, and an opponent can draw a card. Or you can pay a green, and it gets trample, and you give someone a hippo. Basically, it's a political control type strategy where you make a bunch of hippos for players. And you're like, hey, here's all your hippos. By the way, Chronomantic Escape, you can't attack me with those hippos. Good. Awesome. So yeah, just being able to kind of politic, sit back, and make your opponents do your dirty work for you. That can be huge. Queen Marchesa, speaking of politicking, yeah, very good with that. Basically, this one is all about, getting the Monarch and actually just utilizing a bunch of other politic-type cards. And what's a better way to politic than saying, you know what, hey, I know things are a bit hectic right now. I'm sorry I'm not an option to attack. So, I guess, I can help you. If you want to attack that player over there, I can take out that creature that they have that's ready to block so you can go through on them. There you go. How about that? There's an option. Finally, though, how about Cutzel? I love Cutzel. My gosh, I just did an episode where this one talked about how this is a very, very powerful and unexpected commander. 3/3 Cat Warrior. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Let me say that again. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Many players out there kind of skip over this part because the next part is great. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deal combat to a player, draw a card. Basically, hey, are your creatures, do they have counters on them? Do you have an Anthem in play? Any kind of way to modify power? Cool. You get to draw cards when you go through. So it's like a flying men type strategy, but yeah, the fact that your opponents can't cast spells during your turn is massive. That basically means that, your things are kind of uncounterable. There are certain ways, okay, Willbender, sure, that kind of stuff, but yeah, Chronomantic Escape is basically impossible to stop in this deck, so literally you're just like, okay, yeah, I can just keep being super aggressive, swing out with my entire team every 3 turns, and not worry about any kind of blowback, because my opponents literally can't attack me. So this is a card that, again, has overperformed so much for me. Every single time it's played, it changes the game, and yeah, unexpectedly, if you just early on go, I've got some extra mana lying around, okay, I'll suspend it, and then every 3 turns, it saves you and forces your opponents to attack each other, basically, when they want to utilize their armies still. This is a huge card. Make sure you pick it up. And I should have mentioned earlier, if you want any of these cards I'm going to mention in this episode, there's a link in the description below. Next up, we are stepping things up from 0% with the last card when it comes to the amount of play that it sees according to EDH Rack to 1%. There you go. Mirage Mirror. My goodness, the amount of times that I have both played this card and it's overperformed, and my opponents have played it against me and it's overperformed. It is a huge card. Artifact for 3. Pay 2. Becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn. This is so incredibly flexible. It's like a moldable clone that you can keep changing with whatever you need to change it with. It's a massive card that, again, is so useful in so many circumstances, it's pretty absurd. Do you need to become the biggest creature on the board on your turn? Great, it's the biggest creature on the board on the turn. You can swing with that creature then or whatever. Or, again, if an opponent's attacking you with their best creature, it's like, okay, it becomes a copy of that creature and just takes that creature out, essentially, right? I mean, takes them both out. Or, again, if, like, someone plays an OP card, like, oh, okay, someone just played... Oh my gosh, Smothering Tithe. Oh, gross. Okay, someone else is gonna wheel. Oh, they're gonna wheel right now with it too. Okay, I guess I'll get a copy of Smothering Tithe while it's happening too, so at least I can get that benefit as well. This card can become so many amazing things. I mean, someone plays like a Guy's Cradle. They're like, oh, okay, cool, I get a Guy's Cradle. It is a flexible, moldable clone that either can just be part of, again, your own strategy, where if you have certain cards in there that you really want to get extra copies of, again, just a temporary copy, sure, but again, one that is in a way kind of like protected because, oh, okay, it's a creature. Okay, well, now it's not a creature at the end of the turn because then it can avoid board wipes and stuff like that. So it is a card that, again, can become your best things or your opponent's best things. It's so flexible, it's so amazing. And of course, just in general, like, I mean, artifact deck like Osgir, hey, 4/4, Giant Artifice or Vigilance, you can sacrifice an artifact to get in your graveyard, basically, and pump a creature. Pay X, tap, exile an artifact card, mana value X in your graveyard, create 2 tokens copies of it. A great artifact commander in a different kind of color for artifacts with Boros. But yeah, basically, 2 copies of Mirage Mirror. Cool, I can get 2 copies of whatever the best thing on the board is when I need to with that absolutely absurd. Or how about, Braids. Braids is a fun commander, well, that can really throw a wrench into a lot of players' plans and just do crazy things. Beginning of each player's upkeep, the player may put an artifact, creature, or land from their hand on the battlefield. Basically, everyone dump your best things into play, and to give your tiny little Mirage Mirror, that's not maybe something that you're dumping into play from your own hand, because you can just play that for 3 mana, and you can just, cheat other big things into play. But Mirage Mirror can be something that, again, you can copy one of your giant things, you can copy one of opponent's giant things, that's all you need to do with it, where it just kind of sits around, and it's like, oh, it's suddenly the best thing on the board. Or how about Hidden Bond of Prodigy? This thing is one where it can just be a broken card. It can just be an absurd card where, oh, okay, yeah, someone else played a Soul Ring. Great. All right, let me temporarily copy the Soul Ring, and then I will tap it for 3 mana with my Mirage Mirror version of it. And then I probably have ways to untap it and do some really crazy, awesome things. So, yeah, again, commanders that just can do absolutely absurd things, absolutely, but even ones like Kaiga the Tidestar, like this one is one that you might not expect, but it's a 5/5 Dragon Spirit flying for 6 mana. When it dies, gain control of target creature. This is just a sitting time bomb on the battlefield for this commander where, again, you actually actively want to play clones of this commander so that they die. Again, the legend rule applies, the clone dies, you get that death trigger, and you permanently steal an opponent's creature, their best creature. So Mirage Mirror is just like, oh, I'm just going to sit and play and wait for you to play one of your amazing creatures, and then I pay 2 mana to permanently steal it. What's not to love about that, at least for you? So again, it's a very flexible card that, again, is just so game-changing, and it overperforms every single time it comes down. Players like, oh yeah, it's 3 mana for an artifact, you gotta pay mana to actually adjust it, but my goodness, is this worth it? It is so flexible, so crazy. Go pick it up. Next up, a card that does see more play than Chronomantic Escape at 13,000 decks, but still good enough according to EDH Track for 0% of eligible decks out there. Get out there right now and pick up this gem. This card is insanely good, and it's one of those cards that if it literally had less text or was rewritten in a different way, it would see more play. It's an enchant for 2 mana in blue, and it says, pay 1, return a land you control back to its owner's hand, so bounce a land, very nice. Pay 1, discard a land card from your hand, draw a card. If this literally was rewritten to just say, like, hey, pay 1, cycle a land from your hand, it would see more play. There are obviously, like, slight changes. It was like, oh, when you cycle a card, sure, like, okay, there's some triggers would go off with that. But literally, if players just realize this is basically like all your lands have cycling 1, yeah, it would see more play than that. Because this is the type of card where all of a sudden you can say, okay, yeah, late game, oh, I am just land flooded in my hand. Oh, let's get rid of some of those. Or, like, I need to panic. Oh, gosh, like, I need to draw some cards right now. I have no way to draw some cards. Okay, cool, I can bounce lands back to my hand to then discard them to draw cards if I need to. or just in general, again, like replacing cards out of your hand throughout the game. Just like, oh yeah, I don't need this land. Or, of course, in a landfall specific strategy, yeah, bounce land back to my hand, replay, get that landfall trigger again and again and again. It is such a good card that, again, players just do not utilize, and I really don't understand why. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, when it comes to landfall, obviously, like, a Tatiova Benthic Druid is an incredible commander for landfall. Nowhere near uncommon power level. Not sure how they justified making this uncommon. Whenever a land enters battle for new control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. The 1 life is nice. The draw a card is much better. But yeah, being able to go, oh, okay, I've got all these, like, play additional land things in play. Okay, I bounce some lands back to my hand. I drop them back down. I'm just utilizing the mana from the lands themselves, literally, to just get them back to my hand, to drop them back down. Not, like, losing anything out of that, really. So, yeah, you're just essentially ensuring that you're hitting every single land drop that you can to make sure that you get the most out of this commander. Or how about Flub's the Fool? Again, you play additional land on each of your turns. That's fantastic. Great, I can take advantage of whatever landfall things I want. Especially, it's not really landfall, I guess, but this one, hey, whenever you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card if you've got no cards in hand, otherwise discard a card. Again, at the very least, you're like, okay, I've got no cards in hand. All right, let's bounce a land back to my hand. I'll play that for my land for the turn. Okay, draw 2. Utilize those however you need to. Okay, I'll do it again. I'll bounce another land back to my hand. Play it. Draw 2. Yeah, again, these simple type things can be absolutely amazing with this. And that's not even just considering that, again, the cycling is insane. Again, I say cycling. It's not technically cycling, but it's looting, but whatever. It's insane with the lands. How about Muldrotha the Gravetide? During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. Again, actually just saying, you know what? I can actually just play my lands on my graveyard instead. Let's just, instead of playing my land from my hand, discard it out of my hand, draw that card, and then all of a sudden play the land from my graveyard with Muldrotha. So yeah, being able to say, oh yeah, I just automatically get a free extra draw, basically. Okay, 1 mana, but still. Aim not to Veil Piercer. Let's say another one where, yeah, you can really take advantage of these draws. You can take advantage of, again, it being an enchantment as well. Beginning of your upkeep, Surveil 2. Each enchantment card in your hand has Miracle. Its Miracle cost equal to its mana cost, reduced by 4. Being able to just, again, go, okay, I know what's on top. Oh, I can very easily just get rid of this land in my hand to ensure that I draw this on an opponent's turn to make sure I can Miracle this enchantment off the top of my library on that turn. So it is just a manipulative card. It's a card that, again, just gives you so many flexible options throughout the game, and again, works absurdly well with strategies that care about discard, strategies that care about landfall, strategies that care about drawing cards. There's so many different strategies that can utilize this, and I don't understand. Again, it's one of those cards that was literally just, if it's reworded, or if players just ignored the bouncing lands thing because they don't care about that, you would see this see more play. You would definitely see this see more play. Maybe it's because it's an old card as well, but Trade Routes, I love you. You're incredible. Go pick it up. Let's keep things rolling with sudden spoiling, which kind of, stops things, with a split second. Anyways, this one sees play in 2% of eligible decks. Wow, I mean, so much more. But this is definitely a card that definitely overperforms every time you see it played. And it's something, again, that is pretty much unstoppable. It's an instant for 3 mana in black. It's got split second, so as long as it's on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Again, Morph players out there be like, but what about Willbender? Yes, okay, yeah, Morph, it's a special action. It's a weird rule thing. Anyways, that can get around it. But other than that, basically unstoppable. Creatures target player controls become 0-2 and lose all abilities until end of turn. This is such a flexible card that you might not realize it, but it is such a good card. It's a very good gotcha card that can change the game entirely. This is something where you can use it to stop a combo. You can utilize it to just decimate an opponent. You can use it to just get through on an opponent as well. This is such a good card, and again, it is so hard to stop. I absolutely love it. I mean, for a commander like, let's just say, Thantis the Warweaver, okay? A 5/5 Spider Vigilance Reach. All creatures attack each combat of Fable. Whenever a creature attacks you or Planeswalker you control, get a counter on this. Yeah, this card is also just kind of like a fog in a weird way. It's basically like, oh yeah, your creatures, yeah, they're 0-2s. They lose all abilities. They basically do nothing, and they're not hitting me at all. I'm forcing the attack. I'm making you attack with your army. Again, you could have the biggest army in the world that is absolutely massive. That is so many good creatures. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that army is super tiny. Tiny little useless creatures that don't do anything, and you're forced to swing with them. Good luck. So again, whether they're swinging at you or they're your opponents, again, those creatures can just get wiped out. So again, you take someone who's in the best position on the board and you say, no longer. Or how about Massacre Girl, Known Killer? Creature control of Wither. Whenever a creature opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. This is the type of commander that has a lot of ways to reduce toughness, essentially. Like ways like, oh, permanent, like all creatures get -1/-1 type of things. So this is one where, yeah, you don't need too many ways to reduce that toughness down when the opponent's creatures now have just 2 toughness to take them all out. And again, making those creatures lose all abilities can be absolutely absurd as well. I mean, Toxtril the Corrosive, obviously, as well. This is a kind of cheat code with this card where it's like, oh yeah, oh, you have these massive creatures. Oh, you're playing an Eldrazi deck. I don't care. Normally, it would take some time, not all the time, but again, at the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you control. Those creatures get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them, and you get some slugs when they die. Cool. Basically, this is one where, well, it's a salt-inducing commander for a reason, but yes, with giant creatures, when you get this down, it does take some time to build those out. That being said, again, whether it's an Eldrazi deck, a Dragon deck, or whatnot, again, you can take all those creatures and say, it doesn't matter. Now, they're just 0/2s, they're taken out in no time at all. Again, literally just 2 turns. Not even 2 trips around the table, 2 turns in total. Or how about Crick, Son of Yawgmoth Carrick? I never know how to say that name. Anyways, a 2/2 that costs 7 mana, but never does. It's 4 mana and 6 life. Basically, makes it so that your black mana costs are for Phyrexian life instead. Whenever you're casting spells, you get a counter on this. This is literally a card, again. Sunswinding is not an expensive card to cast. It costs 3, which I guess if you're playing it like as a fog, technically is like a good amount to pay for that. But again, you're making those creatures 0/2s, and you're making them lose all abilities. There's a lot going into it. That being said, it is such a game-changing card, and now with Crick, you can be like, oh, I paid 1 generic mana in total to cast this instant split-second card that is going to save me or completely change the game. Yeah, this is a card that most definitely overperforms. It's something that can turn the table on its head. It is something that can come out of nowhere and save you in so many scenarios. Make sure you go check it out. Onward we go, just like all the flying horsies in this picture. An enchantment for 4 mana in blue. Very simple, very effective. Levitation, creatures you control flying. This card only sees play in 10,000 decks. And I'm assuming at least 1,000 of those are mine. I don't know. I don't think I've built 1,000 decks on this channel yet, but it's getting up there, and not every single one includes Levitation. Okay, I was just over-exaggerating, but still. A lot of decks I've utilized this card in. But still, it's at 0% of eligible decks according to EDH Rec. This card is incredible. It's so simple. It is so simple. Again, when it comes to building up an army and becoming, you know, like a big threat and being like, yeah, I'm going to go swing at players. What's something that can stop that? Chump blockers. I mean, just chump blocker. Just literally just someone going like, oh yeah, okay, well, I just blocked with my little 1/1 creature, whatever. Cool. Or they've got a bigger creature and you're like, well, I can't swing through on that player because they've got bigger creatures. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, evasion. It's a very, very good thing. Not just, I mean, on offense, obviously this, but defense as well. Being able to block things. Flying is a fantastic form of evasion, which typically can get you through on pretty much any opponent. And, yeah, if you give your entire army evasion, you're going to be able to get things through on probably all the opponents because they might have like 1 or 2 flyers, but they don't have a ton of flyers. And typically one player doesn't have any flyers, so you can just get through on them entirely. And don't come at me in the comments about reach. Yeah, reach is a cool thing, but like it's not like everything out there has reach. This is such a good card, and again, for just 4 mana, you make your team not unblockable, but I mean, much more evasive than they already were. So being able to say, you know what, even if it's a commander like, let's say, oh, I don't know, Coma Cosmos Serpent, okay? A crazy powerful commander that is pretty salt-inducing. 6/6 can't be countered at the beginning of each upkeep, make a 3/3, and then you can also sacrifice them to tap things down and also give it indestructible. Basically, though, again, you are making little 3/3s, which is great. It's very nice. It's very powerful. Here's the thing. You staple on flying onto all those, and my gosh, that becomes so much better at getting damage through, so much more threatening. It makes such an impact for you. Or how about, oh, I don't know, Lure the Nazgul. Race you control protection from ring bearers, and unless literally every single one of your opponent's creatures are ring bearers, which they're not, then yeah, you know what, you don't care. I mean, you do, but it's not going to be getting through on all opponents like, you know, like flying. I mean, this Wraith has flying, but your other ones, whenever you cast in Source Spell, create a 3/3 black Wraith creature token with Menace, then if you control 9 or more Wraiths, they have base power enough, 9/9 till end of turn. Here's the thing again, they might be giant 9/9s at a certain point, or even just 3/3s is still good, but 9/9s, they don't have any evasion. They've got no way to get damage through. But now all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, by the way, just for this 4 mana enchantment, my 9/9s that were easily chump blocked are now flying 9/9s. Yeah, that is so much more threatening and so much more game ending for you. Charks the Raging Isle, again, like a Voltron type commander can consider this as well. 0/17 Leviathan Crab that says spell opponents, I mean, basically like Ward 2-ish, you know, without the ability. Anyways, 3 plus X minus X until end of turn, where X the number of islands you control. Basically a giant way to just go, okay, pump my commander an absurd amount, and maybe get some double strike on it. I can one-shot players, but again, this doesn't have trample. Obviously, this doesn't have ways to get any damage through. Being able to just have a permanent way on the battlefield with an enchantment, and again, to me, enchantments are the most difficult permanent type to deal with, for the most part, essentially. Having that on there, it's going to stick around, and you get to be able to give this flying to be able to get it through. Finally, though, how about, like, Zero Eternal Schemer? Flying enchantment creature control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. Let's add flying to that as well now, essentially, to all of them. So again, a way to, again, be a better blocker, be a better attacker with Death Touch, Lifelink, gain some life, Hexproof, protect them, and now flying, get them through or block better. And of course, you can make target non-aura enchantments, a creature edition, and it's based on power. Toughness is, its mana value. So yeah, cool, I got a 4/4 flying, Death Touch, Lifelinking, Hexproofing, Levitation. Cool, awesome, attack your opponents. That being said, there's a lot of use cases for this. Again, enchantment style decks, go wide strategies, Voltron strategies. This is a super easy way, again, to make your team better at blocking, but of course, more importantly, better at attacking. So much better at getting damage through on your opponents. And again, it's a simple, easy way on an enchantment that stays in play for the most part for a long, long time. And it's just 26 cents. Pick it up. Time to shift gears, though, with Vona's Hunger. This one sees play in 1% of eligible decks according to Rec. Again, we're going up so fast. Look at that. Wow, 1%. Oh my gosh. It should be seeing play in a lot more than that. An instant for 3 mana, Ascend. Here's the thing when it comes to Ascend cards. Here, come over here. Come here. Okay, I'll whisper it. We're playing Commander. You're gonna get the City's Blessing. That's just kind of how Commander works. Unless you're like playing CDH or whatnot, then it's like game's over in turn 2. But unless you're playing CDH, then you're gonna get the City's Blessing. So just assume that the City's Blessing is what you have with this. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If this was 3 mana, every single opponent sacrifices a creature, it would not be that good. You'd probably expect to pay, like 2 mana for that, essentially, right? Probably 2 mana and you get like another benefit. Maybe, I don't know, these days. That being said, if you have the City's Blessing instead, each one sacrifices half the creatures they control rounded up. Half. You get rid of half of everyone else's team for 3 mana at instant speed. That is insane. And again, sure, if you want to say, it's not all the time that I get that, okay. Is it really that bad of a card that you wouldn't consider it if you just get to get rid of 1 creature per opponent for 3 mana instant speed? Is it that bad of a card? I'd say no. Like, it's worth the upside, because the upside is insane. To get instant speed, an opponent's just attacking you with their massive army like, ha ha ha, I'm coming through to take you out, yeah! And you're like, alright, yeah, I don't like that. Vona's Hunger, sacrifice half your creatures rounded up. Plus whatever other benefits you might get depending on the deck that you're playing, because yeah, that can be game-changing. I mean, how about Gliss of the Trader? 3/3 Zombie Elf for 3 mana and Golgari First Strike Death Touch. Whenever a creature the opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. This is not only just mass removal. Again, let's say your opponents have, like 15 creatures in play in total, each 5, just to make it easy. Okay, yeah, that didn't make it easy, because now I gotta round up. All right, anyways, they sacrificed 9 in total then in that case, I believe. Anyways, okay, I just spent 3 mana, got rid of, again, over half the creatures on the board, and all of a sudden I get 9 things out of my graveyard. Thank you. My gosh, mass recursion. Yes. Speaking of which, Toshiro Umezawa. Whenever a creature the opponent controls is put into a graveyard from play, you may play target instant card from your graveyard. The card put in the graveyard this turn, exile it. Basically, it kind of gives it flashback in a way, and yeah, you're basically just like, oh, okay, a way to initiate that, and also another great instant to play out of your graveyard to do it again at some point. Or how about Ran the Relentless? If a creature the opponent controls would die, exile instead. That's already just nice to just hate on opponents with graveyard synergies. Or death triggers. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 black creature tokens, +1/+1 for each other rat you control, or X the number of creatures probably controlled that were exiled this turn. Basically, again, a way to say, okay, let's wipe out half of my opponent's armies, plus maybe some, again, it's rounded up, and also just make an absurdly giant army myself with that. Or how about Mazrek, Kral, Death Priest? Yeah, I'm gonna let you know up there. Sorry if you're a Turgid fan, but I intentionally didn't mention Turgid because I don't like Turgid. Anyways, yes, it's good in Turgid as well. Anyways, whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a counter on each creature you control. Literally just could be a game-ending play for you. We're like, okay, hey, opponents, how many creatures you got in play? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, again, sacrifice, let's say 9 or whatever. Okay, that's 9 counters on all of my creatures for 3 minutes in speed. Yeah, Vona's Hunger, again, is a card that is, again, a card where it overperforms every single time you see it. It is a card that, again, even if it is just on its base mode, that's still not bad. That's still not terrible. And some players are like, well, I can't count on having the City's Blessing. You're playing Commander. You are playing Commander. Like, the only format where you can just, like, pretty much guarantee for most pods out there, again, if you're not playing, like, 4 or 5, that the game's gonna go, like, 8+ turns. You're gonna get there. And because of that, this is a one-sided board wipe, basically, at instant speed that comes out of nowhere and just wipes out things in so many great scenarios. Go pick this card up. All right, buckle up for this next one with Confounding Conundrum. Currently sees play in 13,000 decks or so. Again, according to EDH Rec, good enough for 0% of eligible decks out there. It's an enchantment for 2 mana in blue, just 17 cents for this gem. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it stopped there, it would not be on this list. It would be absolutely terrible, obviously. It still might see playing some weird decks anyways, though, but here we go. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player had another land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, they return a land they control to its owner's hand. This is a card that is, again, a non-hate piece for yourself. This is a card that is something that is asymmetrical. It does not hurt you at all. It only hurts your opponents. This is a card that says, you know what? Okay, whether I'm playing green or not, if I'm not playing green, then I'm going to say, hey, green players out there, let's slow things down just a little bit, okay? Let's just slow things down. Or a player who just is playing any of, like, the new Capenna fetch lands that, like, auto-sacrifice when they come into play. Like, that just that stops them from working, really, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, basically, again, if I'm playing against a green player, or if I am a green player, this can slow down everyone else when it comes to their ramp. Because, oh yeah, you're going to play an Explosive Vegetation? Too bad. You just played a Rampant Growth after already playing a land that turn. You get 1 land per turn. That's what this says. You get 1 land per turn. Slow it down. And obviously, this is just one that automatically replaces itself, too. Just pretend that, like, again, like, it's one of those cards that's like, oh, it's got Cycling 2 on it because it's flexible. Okay, cool. Even if it's not doing anything early on in the game, it's still like you cycle it away for something else and it's just sitting there for you. And of course, in an Enchantress deck, obviously it just benefits you for being a low-to-the-ground enchantment, too. But it's got so much more potential than that. I mean, just to name a few. Okay, here we go. And of course, first, like, you know, Lavinia Azorius Renegade, a commander like this, like a Staxy type commander, can definitely consider it if, you know, your play group is cool with, like, you know, the Staxy type decks. It slows things down, okay? Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands they control. Yeah, slowing down the amount of lands they get to play quickly is a huge way to say, yeah, you know what? No, don't worry about any of your mana rocks or, you know, cost reducers or whatever. You gotta actually get lands into play. And it's gonna take you a while because you can't get extra lands into play on a turn. Top of that, when an opponent casts a spell, if no mana spent to cast it, you counter it. Cool, again. Like, if you're doing like a Staxy or like Hate Bear type approach, yeah, that can definitely see play there. Or how about, again, like a Layla Artful Provocateur, an Enchantress or Artifact-based commander potentially, or maybe a combination of each. 2/3 Fairy, Warlock, Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, other creature control with Flying, get +1/+0. Whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, make a 1/1 Fairy, which again is basically a 2/1, and it's got Flying. Anyways, just okay, would you pay 2 mana to draw a card and make a 2/1 flyer? Yes. Yes, you would. Yes, you most definitely would. And on top of that, again, it is doing so much work for you, slowing down your opponents. Again, you don't have access to green with this color combination, so you can't get all those lands out there, but you're making it so that those opponents cannot do it either. Again, if you get it down super early, it's like, yeah, opponents who got green decks, you're going to be playing just 1 land a turn like everyone else. Sorry about that. Anyways, Brago King Eternal, again, like a blink strategy, obviously would love this card. Again, that little ETB draw a card now becomes draw a card every single time you hit with this or blink in other ways. Deals combination player, basically blink any number of your non-land permanents, bring them back. So yeah, again, you can just use and abuse that tiny 2 mana enchantment that just draws your card, comes into play, but it still gives you the benefit of slowing your opponents down. How about Yark the Desecrated? Again, a commander that does have green. Again, I get the benefit still. It is asymmetrical. I am not impacted by it. It's not slowing down me from ramping with lands. Great. It slows down my opponents. And of course, I get to draw 2 cards when I play it instead of just 1 because it doubles up ETBs. So yeah, this is a card, again, that definitely overperforms. It's a card that is a nightmare when it's on the other side of the table. If you're playing any kind of a deck that has green and you care about ramping or landfall or whatever, you're like, oh no, no, please, no! It's a card that, again, just works so well and, again, always overperforms when I see it. Make sure you pick it up. And it's just 17 cents! Okay, here comes a spicy one. This sees play in just 4,000, there we go, 4,490 decks. Okay, it sees play more than 400. 4,490 decks, still just 1% for eligible decks out there. Again, this one's in Bant, so yeah, it's obviously like less eligible decks out there for it. That being said, it's a crazy, cool, good, awesome card that is so flexible and can be game-ending. Instant for 3 mana in Bant. Put X/1/1 white bird soldier creature tokens with flying into play where X the number of attacking creatures. Here's the thing. This one is super flexible. It can be, oh, I've got a go wide strategy where I am attacking with a bunch of creatures. Cool. This is a 3 mana instant speed way to double up your entire army and to make 1/1 flyers. Yeah, that's gross. There are other cards out there that see so much more play than this one. They're like, okay, cool, double up your tokens. And this one's like, yeah, do the same thing. Do the same thing, basically, again. But people just ignore that. It's also, again, flexible that it's like, okay, it doesn't have to be you attacking someone. It can be an opponent. It can be an opponent attacking you. And in that case, you're like, okay, hey, their army is quite massive. Okay, let me get 1 blocker per each attacker attacking me. Cool. Yep, block those. It's a fog in that case, which is still great. Or it can be an opponent attacking another opponent. And it's like, oh, okay, oh, that player's taking that other player out. Cool, awesome. Like in my Feldergriff deck where I give someone a bunch of hippos. Like, okay, go attack people. And they're like, all right, cool. And you're like, all right, that player just attacked someone else with 20 creatures. Okay, for 3 mana, I'm going to make 20 creatures with flying out of nowhere. Yeah, this card is amazing. Anyways, commanders that can consider it. Ones that, well, care about getting through, like Derevi Imperial Tactician. Whenever it enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat to a player, you may tap or untap trigger permanent. I don't have to tell you why this commander is just absurdly broken and crazy. And yeah, you can skip out on commander attacks as well. But yeah, having like a flying men type strategy, getting through with evasive creatures, and just being able to make an absurd amount of evasive creatures with this, again, Flurry of Wings, is crazy good with this commander. How about Aragorn the Uniter? And this commander cares about casting spells with a lot of different colors in them. Casting a white spell, make a 1/1. Blue spell, scry 2. Red spell, 3 damage to an opponent. Lightning bolt to the face. Green spell, +4/+4 to target creature. This one knocks out 3 of those things, and I'd say 3 of the more important things, or at least 2 of them. I think the first 2 are probably the most important. Anyways, and again, gives you a massive army. What's not to love about that? You already have some ways to pump that army too, since again, you're going to be making a lot of those 1/1 human soldiers. Anyways, how about Crow's Defense Contractor? Cool, a commander that's like, you know what? Let's force opponents to attack. You can get shield counters on things, and also whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you don't control, you tap it down and you goad it and you force to attack and it gains trample. So yeah, you've got ways to get a bunch of counters on a lot of things, proliferate those so you can keep doing it again and again and again. Basically, again, force a lot of attacks at other players, and while you're doing that, be like, oh, you just attack that player with, again, like 10 creatures? Cool. All right, I'll make 10 creatures for 3 mana with flying. Good for me. Or Galadriel, Light of Valinor. I probably said that wrong. 3/3 Elf Noble for 5 mana in Bant. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Add green, green, green. Get a counter on each creature control, or scry to draw a card. You basically get your mana back for this. I mean, like, filtered in a different way. You get a counter on every creature, and you scry too, because you're going to be getting 3 or more creatures with this effect. So yeah, Flurry of Wings, again, a card that overperforms every single time it's used. It's a card that can be a fog. It can be a mass token generator when you're attacking, or when you're, not even in the play. Again, when someone else is attacking another player, and you're just like, oh, cool, you attack a lot of creatures? Awesome, I'll make a giant army myself. Thank you so much. Pick it up now. Get ready for what's coming next, and your opponents might not be ready for it, but it is Legion's Initiative. 13,000 decks, good enough for 1% according to EDH Rec. Wow, 1%, so many. Enchantment for 2 mana in Boros. Yeah, this card overperforms. Red creatures you control get +1/+0. White creatures you control get +0/+1. So if you've got red-white creatures, congratulations. A nice little anthem there, again, for just 2 mana. That being said, where this really shines is pay 2 mana in total, exile it, exile creatures you control. Beginning the next combat, return those cards to the battlefield under their own control, and those creatures gain haste until end of turn. This card is so good. Again, it is basically like a low-to-the-ground anthem that is flexible and that you can use it to protect your entire team. Again, getting them to go away and then come back on the next combat, and also a way to potentially just grant haste if you really need to grant haste to your team, or just a way to use and abuse ETBs. It's a mass blink effect, too. It sees, oh my gosh, like no play compared to what it should see. It's a card that always overperforms, and it's a card that your opponents have to take into account when they're doing things just by having this on the board. Again, it's like an anthem that is flexible where, okay, yeah, I'm willing to get rid of my anthem if I can save my entire army. And opponents are like, oh, I'm going to cast a Wrath of God. Oh, wait, should I even do that, though? Because then I just destroy the entire board, and then, like, yeah, the player who's got Legion Initiative just, like, saves their team, and they still have an army, but no one else does. or you can use it when you use an Anthem, or you use a Wrath yourself. So yeah, it is something that can stop an opponent from doing something, or they just make a mistake and they do it anyways. And you're like, yeah, blink my team, yay! Or again, use and abuse ETBs. What's not to love about it? I mean, how about General Ferris Rockerick? I mean, this is one that's like a match made in heaven. Hexproof from monocolor. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you make a 4/4 golem, red and white golem. So yeah, literally match made in heaven. You pay 2 mana for, well, something that makes you a 4/4, which is actually a 5/5, because it makes all your things 5/5s now. Yeah, it's quite a good card. Paramacon Sky Rampart enters the battlefield, choose left or right. Each player can only attack in that direction, basically. Okay, so all of a sudden you're like, yeah, all right, well, things have changed. Yeah, let me just get my mass blink effect to use and abuse this ETB and other ETBs I have, and just change the direction when I need to change it. Cool, good for me. Nimbus Reborn enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library for each color pair. Again, this is 2 color pairs, or 2 colors. Choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them, put them in your hand. Basically a mass, again, ETB draw effect in a way. Like, go get a bunch of cool things off the top of your library. This can be one of them, and this can be one that can, again, very easily blink Nimbus it when you need to, on top of pumping it ever so slightly. Pantlaza, Lazy Pants, Sun Favored. Again, a great ETB to use and abuse. Whenever it and other dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. It's only once each turn. What's your biggest dinosaur? Cool, you blinked it. Good for you. Congratulations. Get that ETB. Get something massive off the top of the library. Legion's Initiative is an incredibly good card. Again, it can be so flexible. It can be low to the ground. Again, just a very low to the ground Anthem. Cool, good for you. Awesome. It can be a blink effect that's like, oh, okay, I've got a lot of cool ETBs. Let's use and abuse those. It can be, oh, I give my creatures haste. Awesome. Good for me. Or it can just be, oh, you know what? Actually, hey, you're going to Wrath the board. Let's not. I mean, let's still Wrath the board, but let's just protect my team while I'm doing it. Lovely. You're not ready for this next pick, and neither are your opponents when you play Brought Back. This one sees play in 21,000 decks. Wow, such a big number. 1% of eligible decks out there, according to EDH Rec. An instant for 2 mana in white. Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped. Here's the thing. This thing is so incredibly flexible and so incredibly good. Do you play any kind of fetch lands, Evolving Wilds, Escape Tunnel? Do you play any of those? Oh, okay, cool. This can just be a ramp spell for you. This can literally just be a ramp spell where it's like, oh yeah, cool, all right, sacrifice land, maybe sacrifice another land, if I've got like one of the panoramas. Oh, okay, cool. I sacrifice those, and all of a sudden I go get 2 lands, and I'll cast Brought Back, and I will get this, those 2 lands that I sacrificed right back into play. Cool, good for me, amazing. So it can be a ramp spell for you, which some players might not realize. It can be a ETB abuser in a way as well, kind of like a feign death type effect. It can be a protection spell where it's like, oh yeah, you thought that was going away. It's not. Again, like literally it can be like, oh, someone Wrath the board. All right, let me keep my 2 best things that just got taken out. It can be like kind of post counter spell in a way where someone's like, oh yeah, I take out your best permanent, I destroy it. You're like, okay, you destroyed it, but now it's coming right back. Again, it has so many applications. It overperforms every time I see it. And again, literally just for like mono white. For like a mono white tech like Jada, it can just be like ramp for you if you need it. A 2/2 angel with flying and vigilance for 2 mana. Basically make your angels bigger when more and more angels come into play. It can tap for a white. Of course, again, just a very solid commander. Angel tribal, awesome. Yeah, if your angels get taken out, bring them back. Or again, just early on, like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I've got like Evolving Wilds, I've got like, another like fetch lands or whatever they are. Cool. All right, I'll get those right back out. Good for me. I'm ramping. Cool. Narcy Fable Singer. Whenever you sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card. Yeah, you're gonna be sacrificing a bunch of enchantments. Do so. And again, when you do so, now you can be like, all right, I'll sacrifice these 2 for value. And by the way, I'm bringing them right back into play. Good for me. Teysa Karlov absolutely loves death triggers. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability, permanent control to trigger, triggers initial time. Also, something just slapped on it for creature tokens for no reason. Don't know why they slapped that on there, but they did. Vigilance and lifelink. Regardless, again, when it comes to this card with Teysa, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I just sacrifice these amazing creatures with these great death triggers, which doubled up. Let's bring them right back. I get whatever ETB they have again. I can sacrifice them again, whatever I need to do. Tom Bombadil loves sagas. Whenever the final chapter of a saga you control resolves, reveal a card to the top of your library to reveal a new one. Cool, get on the battlefield. This one is one where it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to have a lot of different ways to manipulate my sagas, be able to get a lot of different counters on them, proliferate, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, yeah, I can probably get 2 sagas to trigger on the exact same turn and be sacrificed, so I can bring them back right away again and get them restarted again. So yeah, being able to essentially utilize this card again for protection, for using and abusing ETBs, death triggers, and yes, even for ramping, yeah, this card is absolutely crazy and always overperforms when I see it. Finally, though, a little bonus that I want to highlight for you. Just 7,000 decks for this gem that overperforms, most definitely overperforms every time I see it played, which is usually on my side of the table. 0% of eligible decks out there utilize it, according to EDH Rec. Island Sanctuary. Yeah, when it comes to like really old cards with like really weird art, you're like, nothing against the art, just like it's old art, right? The player's just like, I'm just going to ignore that card. There's no way it could be powerful. Here to tell you, this card changes games. Enchantment for 2 mana in white. During your draw phase, you may draw one less card from your library. If you do, so until start of your next turn, the only creatures that can attack you are those with flying or island walk. Obviously, it's been errated at this point, or reworded at this point. But basically, it means, hey, skip your draw on your draw phase, and you get to not be attacked, essentially is what this is. Except for flying and island walk. Island walk, usually not relevant. Flying, usually, again, like I mentioned, with levitation, most players don't have flyers. This basically means just like, you are unattackable. This basically is what this is for a 2-mana enchantment. Yes, there is a downside. Sure, not drawing your draw step. Okay, this is a card that, if you just put it down without thinking about it, yeah, you're like, oh, I don't really have any other ways to draw cards. This is terrible. This is awful. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. Utilize it with a commander deck where you are drawing a bunch of cards anyways, either with the commander or with just how the deck works. I mean, Quain Iterate Meddler, cool, a really fun commander if you've never played it. I love Quain. Bunny Cop. Tap, each player may draw a card, then each player who drew a card this way gains 1 life. You can already just replace the card that you were going to draw with this ability, and of course you've got plenty of ways to untap to do it again and again and again. Drawing is not a problem for this one. Sithis Harvest Hand, again, a low-to-the-ground enchantment. Again, cool, awesome. Alright, you want to cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life, draw a card. You're already drawing a card by playing Island Sanctuary, and you've got so many other low-to-the-ground enchantments, you're going to be drawing so many cards, plus all the other Enchantress effects that you have. How about Ms. Bumbleflower, the menace to society that Ms. Bumbleflower is? Whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card, put a counter on target creature, gains flying until end of turn. If the second time this ability is resolved this turn, draw 2 cards. Here's the thing with this one, flying very relevant. Don't, make an opponent's creature have flying that can attack you on that turn. I mean, make the deal ahead of time so they're not attacking you, or just target another opponent's creature. There you go. That being said, again, a very easy commander to draw an absurd amount of cards. Potentially, again, literally 2 cards per turn, potentially. Or even more than that with Sergeant John Benton. Yeah, this commander is insane. 2/4 trample haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. Basically turns giant growths into ancestral recalls, essentially. Yeah, you're not going to have a problem drawing cards, but you might have a problem defending yourself. So, yeah, you can keep being incredibly aggressive, attacking your opponents, and just leaving yourself wide open because you've got Island Sanctuary in play, and you chose not to draw your card. So literally, the vast majority of creatures out there, if not every creature out there that your opponents control, cannot attack you. So yeah, this is a very good card. Yes, it overperforms every single time you play it. Go pick this gem up and make your opponent's heads turn when you put it down. They're like, wait, what? What does that do? Why is there a Pegasus on there? Oh no! Do I have any flyers? Any island walkers? No? Okay, I guess I can't attack you. Okay. Yeah, pick it up. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.